feel anger, focus. Focus, focus. Because I truly do believe that when something angers you so much where that emotion starts to glaze you over and now you're not consciously making choices, it's now controlling you. And that's the same with love, with any emotion. And I wanted to talk about that today because I definitely have been experiencing that. So, hi, it's Kai. I'm here with another video based on my own experience. So, hello. Once again, the disclaimer. Jesus fuck. This is all just based on my own experience. I am recording a video log here in this format, so welcome. And so therefore it doesn't mean that I am right or wrong or that I know better than you, so please use your discernment when you're consuming my content. Focusing that anger, you know, I got so angry, but it was like, it felt like it was outside of me. And that kind of showed me that like I've grown, simply because in the past I've definitely gotten angry and it would just like, I would carry that for the rest of the day, in other words. And I was reading some cards for myself and pulling them, and one of the oracle cards that I pulled was from my Whispers of Love deck, and it says, forgiveness. Nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. And then I saw another card that I had pulled earlier in the day that was still out, and it said, face your fears. One of the things that I used to fear and that I'm acknowledging is the fear of people leaving me. And that can be, you know, fear of abandonment, the abandonment wound, whatever you want to fucking call it. But I just was like realizing that, because like I was saying to you guys in my last video, I feel drawn to someone. What's that? And it's like, it's definitely different. And it's like, I don't wish to repeat these past experiences for myself where I just felt so insecure and like as if someone would leave me at the drop of a hat, you know? And it's like, everyone has their own reason. It doesn't mean that I need to literally reason with myself to understand that kind of choice. And I'm not saying that like I'm gonna invalidate their own experience, you know, like with all due respect. I just don't wish to tap into that, because why would I make it make sense to abandon myself? You know what I mean? And so I am here and I'm acknowledging that forgiveness is so important. Forgiveness is so important simply because of the fact that holding on to these things from the past don't help me. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to reference, or not even reference, but like more so have this level of introspection when it comes to how I respond to things, right? And so I had this experience this morning with a few people that really ticked me off, because I felt that they were looking down on my dad and like pretty much gaslighting him, really, and it really fucking pissed me off. And so I just acknowledged that that was happening within me, and I just did some like methods to help me regulate and like bring myself back to center, acknowledging that I hadn't eaten at all till that point, and it was already 10 a.m. I woke up at 6:30. So it's like those kinds of things where I take note of that, and that also contributes to my sensitivity. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but it's also not something that's going to support me recentering, right? So I went to get food. I went to Mubongni. Mubongni is a sundae-guk place, which is, sundae is a blood sausage, I'm pretty sure, in English. And it's just like this really like warming, it's like soul food for Koreans, you know? And so I really just needed something that was just soupy, and I am on my period, so that's also a really good way to help me in this phase of my natural body cycle. And I just kind of was like, no, I'm not going to let this experience taint who I am. And I mean that in a way of like, you know, when you get angry, you kind of act out and lash out and you maybe not regret it, but like it just almost becomes such a like an intense, dense experience. And so I'm still in the process of acknowledging that I have kept stepping away from certain parts of myself because it doesn't align. And that I kind of correlate to, sorry, my neighbors are having a little pate, so I apologize if that's disrupting the quality of this voice. I apologize to myself. But I really was like, I recalled this thing that my uncle had told me is to not get so angry. And I knew that he was saying it from his own experience as well as like from his heart. And I really feel like I connected with that like phrase that he said to me, because I do feel that anger has been a really big trait in terms of like generational karma. Not necessarily trauma, but like karma, seriously, within my own like line. And it's like so important for me to really just siphon, you know, like intentionally do something about the anger, because I don't wish to invalidate my own experience, and I also don't wish for it to be something that dictates my decisions. I don't want my emotions to dictate what I do simply because it guides me. It guides me to myself, to inspire me to act, to do things. And so I was very motivated. I alchemized that energy to motivate me to become a lot more like focused. And it, you know, in the past required a lot of work to get me there. But lately I've just been able to do it a lot more cohesively, especially when I am well nourished. So there is that. And so I experienced today, and today is September 11th, 2025, Thursday. It is sometime past 8 p.m. And I think it's best if I just acknowledge that I feel something towards someone. Me being so fucking vague about it is just cracks me up. But I really do feel like it's just such a beautiful thing to start to have feelings for someone that's on like it's more of like a deeper level of curiosity, or a deeper level in terms of just being curious and wishing to discover more, and also not really just getting ahead of myself. Because you know, when I don't know if you know, but like sometimes people say like being the Lulu is the Salulu, and I freaking don't agree with that. I don't. I do believe that daydreaming and like being within the frequency of that desire is very, very important. But I don't feel that being delusional about what you're actually experiencing is a good thing, because of the fact that, like, let's just say, for example, if I start to get very delusional about someone's feelings towards me, maybe intuitively I can kind of sense something, but once again, intuition is just something you feel, right, with no explanation. So when there are things in your reality that confirm your intuition, it's not to say that your intuition is right or wrong. It's that your feeling is there. And so therefore you are in alignment. And so I kind of was just realizing that I have my own desires, I have my own hopes, and I have my own levels of fulfillment that I require. So even when it comes to this person that I am feeling drawn to. I don't know how to fucking describe it. Guys, literally, I do feel like a lot of philosophers, like that is probably like one of the biggest talked about like maybe topics or ideas is like love is a feeling, but it's indescribable and you don't really know why you're being drawn to someone, but it feels so right and it just doesn't make sense any other way, but it also doesn't have any sense in it because you can't make sense of it because you can't reason with it. And so I just kind of took a step back because I was around this person for just a brief fucking moment and I literally, oh my god. Like, you know, I'm making an effort to not be hard on myself. I'm also acknowledging that I do witness the fear that is present, and it's because of that like abandonment wound, I guess we could say. And it's like I just want to see how this goes. I want to see if they feel the same way. Like I want to see it, like I want to see how this goes because it might go in a direction that may not align with what I desire, but it might be what I need, you know? And that's why I do really stand behind like taking people's actions and words as they are, not building them up to be something else when it is presented to you, you know what I mean? And that's so important when it comes to healing and unconditioning yourself, you know? When you notice a pattern, for example, when someone treats you in like a way that maybe you consider shitty, you know, and you speak about it, but they don't change their behavior or their words or their tonality, whatever it may be. And it's like that's the pattern, that they're willing to show up in this way and treat you like this. But then in reality, why are we continuously choosing someone who's continuously going to act like this, you know? And so I do feel like hand in hand, even if in my case, you know, if I continue to develop these emotions, because I'm aware of them, right? So I'm actively choosing it as well. It's like it doesn't mean that I'm not going to see them in a way where I see another person, you know, like a person to person connection. It's like I have my own needs, I have my own desires, and I also am not meant for everyone, as well as not everyone is meant for me. And that is up to my discernment, you know, like I have to make these decisions so that I can welcome in people who are good for me, and also are just a connection that's healthy enough for me. And so I am desiring more, I am opening myself up to more, as well as becoming a lot more conscious. I feel that I am learning to be a lot more conscious in the decision of choosing a partner, simply because I do desire that, right? So I'm acknowledging that desire and actively doing stuff so that I'm not just like literally, I mean, you could, but like I really, as a spiritualist, it's like you too are part of the manifestation, you know what I mean? So it's like you do have to do something, but what you do is literally what you enjoy. That's what you can do. Obviously there are many components to this that I could go into, but like it's just like do what you love, do what you like. And I like to respect other people, and I like to be able to not be controlled by my emotions. I like to delve and experience my emotions so that I can, you know, acknowledge that happening, but I also like focusing on myself and being there for me and being my biggest supporter so I never feel abandoned or like deserted. I heard that word today and I was like, yeah, that is such a fucking good word to describe like almost every experience that I've felt when it comes to like people that I'm attracted to. It felt deserted. And it's ironic that I live in a desert. I'm like discovering these new things in this place. We'll see what happens, man. Like I I wish it to be true that this person is going to pursue me because it'd be nice. And I'm obviously not going to hide how I feel, but I'm also not going to like fucking like spill that shit all over them without their consent. You know what I mean? There's also such thing as emotional consent, because that's why, like, what is that called? Like, love bombing is a thing, you know? And even just I guess case by case, you know, because sometimes when people like vent to me or like open up to me, I do feel that it is my responsibility to speak up and be like, hey, like, I don't really have the space to hold for you. If you could possibly tell me at another time, I'd really appreciate that. There are moments like that, and there are moments where I just let this person talk and I literally just get drained. I just get so fucking drained. So I think that's also really, really important thing too take note of is if I carry this emotion and I just kind of like negate my own involvement in it, then truly, am I even like experiencing me? Is this actually me? Or am I giving so much credit to something outside of me that I don't control? And I'm not saying I'm here to control myself, but like really, it does come with a lot of like emotional depth. Hand in hand is the ability to be mature about your emotions. And I'm not saying like downplay it or like, you know, like not be like or how do I even describe that, like, or flamboyant, not being flamboyant in that sense of like innocence and like when you're younger you kind of like express your emotions largely is kind of sometimes the case for some people, but for me it was in certain scenarios, not all the time at least, but I do want to say that like I really feel a lot more calm with this emotion. And I'm not going to describe it because I honestly don't know what exactly is unfolding right now, because like seriously I have this thing that I'm noticing actually where I'm holding on, I'm like witnessing the past experiences when it comes to being attracted to someone, and I like hold it very like as if I'm like witnessing it on the outside of it, you know? It's like an orb in my hand. I'm like witnessing outside, but it's a fucking orb, so it like doesn't have these images. It's just like this like smoky thing inside of it. It's like a crystal ball type thing, type beat. And I feel that that's what it is now. It's like actually being willing to let that go despite how beautiful it was for me. And I am. It is requiring a level of acknowledgement. I feel like I'm processing something that is so significant to my growth, because I feel that I'm making a different choice. I'm making a different choice because I don't wish to repeat things that I'm well aware that I do to myself, right? And that's holding on to things that don't serve me, right? So this past person that I definitely had feelings for. And my friend brought his name up and I just was like, it doesn't like hit the same. And that's how I know that things have changed, and it's good. It's really good for me at least, because I'm just like, yeah, they're just another person, and not even that, like to say what our connection was, it's just they're another person, they're living their life, and I wish them the best. I'm simply on my own path. So yeah, that was today, guys. I'm hoping like with my new schedule, I'm starting to actually like schedule things out with my studying hours and my meeting stuff and my clientele for tarot readings, and also my content creation here and on TikTok, and also just my social life. Oh, obviously my physical needs as well. So I'm making my schedule so that I can include you in this, because this is a really beautiful time of my life where I am back in school. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really invigorated by just the like literal act of learning, And so I'm about to study after this, and I'm like excited to do that. So it's really cool, and I really am just grateful because like I'm not even focused on how fucking angry I was this morning, despite my ego, you know, kind of like a little attached to it. I'm like, you know what, I can I can address this in a different way, and I'm willing to go through that step by step. And so right here right now, I just really want to appreciate the space that is being cultivated here. So thank you for being here, thank you for being you, thank you for being alive. And I'm sending you so much love and support on your own spiritual journey. Bye bye.